Alright guys, we're going to be going over NRSN today as requested by our holy leader Moneybags. Again, I haven't been trading these penny stocks. I've been working on options trading and futures trading, learning other markets, but I still do know what I'm doing, so feel free to DM me for any questions. Yeah, I haven't really looked at the stock. I just know that, this has happened. So I'm going to go over where I would have been looking to get entries and exits. So let's look at it. Again, this red line is our 9 EMA, this green line is our VWAP, and this yellow line is our 200 EMA. Those are probably the three most important things you could have for your chart. So we open up. You probably don't want to trade usually within the first couple minutes unless you're for sure that something's going to go up. So you wouldn't have taken anything right here. You see it come up. Well, first of all, it kind of rejects the VWAP here. So you're going to want to be more cautious right here. It does pop up and then reject. So if you tried to get in on this break of VWAP, depending on where you got in, if you got in at like 217 right at VWAP, you should have been fine. It would have been close. Depending on how big your stop loss is, but this next candle, let's see. This next candle, this one right here. This is the proper candle to get in on. It does close above, or you could have gotten in like just around right here, 217. You should have been fine with like a 3% stop. It would have been pretty close. But as you see, it does break through, or you could have waited and gotten a little pullback right here on the VWAP. That would have been a lot safer of an entry. And then it does start to pick up a lot of pace. You might have taken your profits from 217 up around 240 because that's pretty good gains. And then right here, so that would have been my first trade, right around this VWAP. Second trade. This is kind of like a flat top breakout. Okay, I need to change that line color. Hold on. Change that to white. This is kind of a flat top breakout, I guess you could say. You could have taken an entry here, and you see this is kind of curling up off of this 90 MA. It holds it right there. And this candle kind of curls off of it. So you could have taken an entry right around this 90 MA, right around here, 227. That would have been another good entry. And your stop loss would have been probably right below VWAP. That would have been a pretty safe exit point. And then again, you get from 240 up to 260 or 290, depending on how long you held that. And again, I mean, I'm not going to tell you exactly where you're going to exit because entries are more important for the most part. Get a good entry, you'll make money no matter what. But depending on your risk tolerance, exit somewhere in these candles right here because you can always get pullbacks. Next entry. Again, dips down 90 MA, kind of holds, pops back up. Dips down to 90 MA, pops up. Dips down on EMA, pops up. Proper entry. This is a beautiful curl right there. Proper entry would have been this candle right here, right around here, right over this, where this candle closed, right over that high. So right around 267, 268. And then from there, we instantly pop up to $3. And I don't really see any signs of this slowing down. You have some little doji candles, which means there's indecision. But if we take a look at our MACD, let's see. It's kind of flat right here, kind of flat. Then you see it kind of curls back up. And then right here, it starts to go straight up. And the volume starts to pick up. It's a little bit of a staircase right here, which, as I've always said before, staircases are good. So you, depending on your risk tolerance, this is either from 270 to $3 or from 270 to like $4, which is That's very good gains. Let's see how much exactly. Label. Turn that. 47% gains if you got it up around $4, or minimum would be like 10 to 15% gains, which is, you know, most people look for 3% a day. So you get 10% in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And again, right here, let's see, this is sort of a flat top breakout, a little bullish pennant right there. It's rough, but it works. And you also get a little bit of it's a pretty close dip to that 9 EMA. That's pretty close. A pretty safe entry would have been around this 9 EMA, or right around here. Once this candle closed above, and you saw this next candle start to move up, so right around 410 would have been a good entry on this candle right here. So then you get a 1 minute micro pullback. Well, first of all, this goes from 410 up 15% in a minute, so you could have taken profits. I mean, that's great profits for one candle. And then it pulled back, 1 minute pullback. So you could have sold here depending on your risk tolerance, but with how this has been moving all morning, you probably would have wanted to hold, because it went from $2, and within the first 45 minutes, it's at getting close to $5. So you might have wanted to hold because it's a pretty bullish stock. And usually bull runs don't stop at least until an hour into the market, for the most part. So this 1 minute pullback could have held. I probably would have held, or you could have taken some off the table right here and then put a stop loss back at your entry. That would have been pretty safe as well. But as you can see, this just kept going and halted. Now I usually love halts. So I mean, that's 50% gains in 5 minutes. That is crazy. And now let me tell you, I do miss penny stocks. I miss the adrenaline rush. Maybe I'll come back. Who knows? But yeah, halts here at 614. Usually if something halts up, it is going to resume higher. But something that you would have wanted to been weary about here is if you look at this volume right here, it is declining into the halt. And usually halts are opposite of that. It'll staircase up, not staircase down. So if you were paying attention to the volume, you might have wanted to take profits around this halt level, because as you can see, it resumed basically and dropped $1 lower. So you would have stopped out for sure. So let's say you sold right around this level. Okay, that's about 50%, 45% gains. Then you got drop after the halt level. You see it hold above the 9 EMA. That's pretty good. And then you see this next candle, it holds. It does for the most part hold above that 9 EMA. So you could have taken another entry, quick scalp around that 9 EMA, knowing that this held, and just put a stop loss, of 3%. Depending on where you got in, you should be fine. Let's say you got in at like 525 here. You'd have about a 15-cent stop, so you would have been fine depending on where you got in. And then that could have ran you up, god dang, 30%. Or you could have taken an entry over this high. This is kind of a mini bull flag, and that would have ran you 20%. And then this is kind of all chop. You probably would have wanted to be done, not trade any of this chop. And I mean, it's still trading right now. And it's still very bullish right now. In the last 20 minutes, it's gone up 30%, which is nuts. So we can look at that real quick. This whole area right here is kind of choppy. It really is kind of choppy. There's nothing great except this right here. That's a pennant. It broke out of the pennant. You could have taken entries here, 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 put a stop loss right below. That would have been pretty safe. Or you could have taken entry right here on this breakout. So that would have, and you would have wanted to sell once you see these Bollinger Bands are tightening in quite a bit on this on these candles. So I would have probably exited somewhere around right here, which is still great gains. That's 7% or 10, 11%. And again, 9 EMA is working great on this stock. 9 EMA holds here. That's a terrible circle. Holds here, holds here. So I would have probably taken an entry right here. This candle breaks and breaks over the high of this candle, right over the close. So right around 675. And again, look at that. I mean, depending on how long you hold, that's 20. But hopefully you at least held for that candle, right? That's at least 10%. This is all, I mean, that's a little choppier. Nothing looks super clean to me up here. It looks kind of extended to me. MACD is super high. Inconsistent volume, as you can see. Super high, dip. Kind of high, dip. Kind of high, dip. And now it's coming back down. But yeah, those would have been my entries. Would have taken this this VWAP trader here. This would have been a little sketchy with like a 3% stop, but depending on your risk tolerance, you would have been fine. The flat top breakout right here, that would have been a great trade. 9 EMA curl, 9 EMA curl, breakout, 9 EMA curl, 9 EMA curl right here. So a lot of 9 EMA bounces today on that stock. So if you guys have any questions, just DM me. Any requests for videos, also DM me and I will for sure take a look at it.